Following the testament of Sherlock Holmes, and we are. I guess the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find Hans Schielman again. So we let him go because I guess he's gonna go after the people who makes the poison, and then we're gonna track him down. So he's gonna go find the people making the poison, and we're gonna find him. And by finding him, we find out who's making the poisons. I think that's the plan. It seems a little bit elaborate and unnecessarily complicated to me, but
You have been a great help, dear Toby. I'll ask Mrs. Hudson to send you up some fine giblets.
yes, giblets. So Sherlock is friendlier to the dog than he is to any human being. Amazing. What do? We can chat with.
Find Farley's office on the map.
Alright, so we need to go to Farley's office. But before we do that, let me just walk around. Shouldn't there be like a newspaper for us to read? Isn't there like a newspaper every time we come back here to our office? Still can't mess with any of this stuff. Alright, let's go back outside. There's only the exit. Unless there's something in this room. And no, there isn't. Alright, well, let's go straight to Farley's office then, since there's nothing else for us to do here. Oh, wait a minute, we're tracking down the newspaper guy. If we're going to Farley's office, alright, well. I guess we're not going after Hans Schielman. Not yet, anyway.
Here we are at Farley's office. One cannot say that ethics play a very large role in his life. Look at the headlines pinned to the walls, like trophies of bad taste. Perhaps we will finally begin to understand the reasons for his persistence in tarnishing your reputation.
Perhaps.
Are we here to talk to him, or are we here to, you know, destroy his office?
Coffee. It's still hot.
Which means Farley is probably in.
I cannot leave now.
Okay, I didn't. No, look at that thing.
This is an electric box. Interesting.
I guess we can sabotage.
This is an electric box. Interesting.
Sabotage his electricity. There's electricity. Wait a minute. What year? Was there electricity back during Sherlock Holmes' time?
What should we do next?
No, open the door, bro.
This door is locked. Is Farley afraid of being interrupted suddenly?
Interesting. Did we just steal his things?
Cigarettes. An ordinary, inexpensive brand.
Oh, we stole it now.
A press card. Osmond Farley. It's his overcoat.
The agents of... I didn't read it.
I must go out for a while, Miss Jean. I won't be long. Ask my appointments to wait, and send this message as a matter of urgency.
Mr. Osmond Farley, I presume.
Messrs. Holmes and Watson. What a surprise.
What is there so surprising about being visited by the targets of your slander?
I never slander. I inform.
You will have to accept the consequences of these articles, Mr. Farley.
Those words sound like a threat, Mr. Holmes.
I never threaten. I merely warn.
You don't frighten me, Mr. Holmes. I know all of your little secrets. And soon all of London will find out what really hides behind the facade of the impeccable detective. Thanks to my work, the whole world will discover the true Sherlock Holmes. Gentlemen, I don't wish you a good day.
Okay.
What a bore. Even to the point of refusing to shake our hands.
Which means that we can avoid having to wash them. Did you notice the crumbs on his jacket? He had just finished eating, and his hands will be covered in grease, the same as his mouth.
Slovenly habits. That's quite disgusting, Holmes.
Do not be deceived, Watson. The workmanship in those tailor-made clothes indicate that he is a man who takes pride in his appearance. If Farley has left without brushing off his jacket or washing his hands, then it is because he spotted our approach and wished to avoid us at all costs.
But why?
We will find out by searching his office.
The secretary will stop you. Please reassure me, Holmes, you don't intend upon knocking her out?
Only if we exhaust every other viable alternative.
And you know, the other viable alternative being that you knock her out, Watson. Okay, so we have a cigarette case, and we have wait a minute, an electric box, cigarette case.
The secretary is occupied in sending a telegram via their electric telegraph. Farley asked that she should do so before he left.
We must find a way of interrupting the transmission, which will oblige her to go to the telegraph office in Kensington. It will take her some time to get there, and if we add on the time it takes to send the telegram and then return here, we should have ample time to search the office without being disturbed.
I suppose it's unnecessary to point out the illegality of this search?
I'm afraid so.
Or, you know, immorality, but that's fine. So we're gonna wait a minute, we can touch this.
This hanger has a large iron hook.
Indeed it has. It has a large iron hook. And we are gonna use it to destroy the electric box.
I can hear an electrical humming. The secretary is using the electricity supplied by this switch. Let us see if I can cause a short circuit.
Are you kidding me? Alright, well, we're gonna do that. So it's gonna be one of these puzzles, guys. This seems relatively, Nope, it's not straightforward, never mind. It is not straightforward. It is, nope. That's embarrassing. There's only one way to do that, except I guess we have to do this. Oh wait, do we have to get both? Oh, we have to get both sides. I see. We have to get both sides, guys. So we get both sides coming out here, which doesn't really help. How would we do this any other way? We kinda can't, can we? There's really no other way to... Because look, this can only do that. This can only do that. This can only do this. So we're just gonna continue. If we just see, this doesn't work like that. So this has to be that, and this really has to be this. This can only come straight down, unless this side does that and that. In which case we can join this way, but we're still really no closer to joining this up.
Let us see if I can cause a short circuit.
Don't really have all that many options.
Let us see if I can cause a short circuit.
Can turn that down there. I can't actually swap. I can't move these, right? Wait a minute. Is this even possible? So, like, that doesn't help us. This can be that, but this doesn't help us at all. And then I'm not. So we can skip the puzzle. I'm not skipping the puzzle. So that can be that. That's gonna be that. That can be this. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
There we are. It is simplicity itself.
All
Oh,
right.
that's just too bad.
Get out quickly, Watson. I'm going to hide here.
Smooth.
The way is clear.
Like you didn't even close the switchboard.
Let's go, Watson.
All right. We're gonna ransack his office, set it on fire. What is this? Typewriter.
A page of this notebook has been torn out. We can only see the title in shorthand and today's date. It's a message that the secretary must send urgently. I'm going to recopy it.
You can read shorthand? You never cease to amaze me. Were you a secretary before becoming the great
Perhaps. But no, a man must have his secrets.
Notes on the investigation into Sherlock Holmes to all his colleagues after the visit from... Alright, well. That's kinda useful.
A makeup case with a good brush.
A makeup case with a good brush. Awesome. Do we just brush? Do we brush? Wait a minute. Do we...
I can make out the marks, but I need something to bring them to light. I must look more attentively.
What I
I
need...
must look more attentively. I must look... I can make out the marks, but I need something to bring them to light.
I need a pencil, don't I? Or
I
like
can make out...
dust or something. Let me just get back out of here, grab more things. That's solved. That's not solved yet.
The ribbon is missing from this machine.
The ribbon is missing from this machine. Alright, I'm gonna come back to this.
The secretary has just changed the typewriter ribbon. There are smudges of dark blue ink.
Is that useful?
Here is Farley's secretary's telegram. Nothing special here.
So this is what people used before we had iPhones. This is how you send text messages to your friends in America if you're in London. Let's see.
This book has fallen down from the shelf.
Sherlock Holmes.
The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. My word, it's my stories about your investigations.
A real investigative reporter must have read them, my dear Watson.
Yes, Watson. Nope, we're done. Alright, we're done with that one.
My adventures have fallen from this shelf.
Not sure why that is important. What is this? Burnt paper. I will call on you this morning. Destroy this letter. Receive it urgently. Your revelations regarding our man's true schemes are incredibly superior. A Machiavellianism of the sort. Yeah, fair enough.
This paper only just escaped the flames.
But who is this note about? And who wrote it?
I will deal with it later.
Machiavellianism is a good description of Sherlock Holmes. Also, long live the Queen! What are we doing here?
This armchair is out of place.
Armchair out of place.
Someone closed the curtain, as though he wanted to maintain his privacy.
Fair enough.
This cabinet has a lot of drawers, each marked with a letter. There is surely a great deal of information in them.
But we can't open all of them. We must know what we are looking for.
Okay. Keys.
A bunch of keys. A telephone. A technological marvel. A number was written next to it quite recently. A fine, educated hand.
Holmes, this number seems very familiar.
Yes, but let us dial it to be sure.
1313. It's gonna be the police, isn't it?
Miss, get me 1313, please. It is Scotland Yard, of course. I'm beginning to understand.
Lucky you.
Alright, well that's a telephone. Like, again, before we had iPhones, this is what phones look like. And they were a technological marvel, as Holmes says.
Judging from all the notes on the board, our reporter is an assiduous and organized worker.
Photo of Prince Woodville. Alright, well, there's a...
A photograph of Prince Woodville. Farley is evidently also interested in this affair.
Let me just look at each thing. So there's those two pieces, nothing over here. For the Globe Explorer, mystery surrounds the body drowned in the Thames. The body of a man discovered yesterday morning up on the banks of the Thames still remains a mystery. An autopsy has revealed that the amount of water in the victim's lungs confirms the man's death by drowning. However, the many gaping wounds upon his body point to a savage aggression before death. For the moment, no explanation has been provided by the authorities. So, the reason that the water in the lungs means that he drowned is because if you are a dead body and you just get chucked in the water won't go into your lungs because you're not breathing. Whereas if you're drowned, then you would try to gasp for air, but you're under the water, so then you kind of swallow and you kind of take in all the water into your lungs. And so, like, if you find a body in the water and there's water in the lungs, then that means they drowned. That means they were alive and then they were drowned. Whereas if you find a body in the water and there's no water in the lungs, that means they were already dead before they were chucked in the water, because then the water doesn't get into the lungs because they didn't actually choke it in. The victim was able to be identified. The man, a 53-year-old bargeman, was already known to the law, where his name has appeared in proceedings relating to the breach of legislation in different merchandise trafficking affairs, principally in the cereal market. The latest charge dates back several days. Cereal trafficking? He traffics cereal? The court was prosecuting the deceased for destruction and degradation of goods, namely a vast quantity of wheat. The shortage raging simultaneously in London would not have encouraged the judge to lean towards leniency if this horrifying death had not interrupted the proceedings. He was destroying wheat? Okay, that's interesting.
A horrible story, and rather a strange one.